Hey! Welcome to What You Should Know About. In today's episode, Supermarine Spitfire. From Mark 1 to Mark 24. The Supermarine Spitfire is a single-seat fighter aircraft, also used as a fighter bomber and reconnaissance aircraft. The Spitfire was produced at Supermarine Aviation Works Limited. Its parent company was Vickers Armstrongs. Supermarine was a British aircraft manufacturer. It is most famous for producing the Spitfire fighter plane during World War II. It also built a range of seaplanes and flying boats, winning the Schneider Trophy for seaplanes with 3 wins in a row in 1927, 1929 and 1931. After the war, the company produced a series of jet fighters. It was also manufactured and built by Vickers, Armstrongs, Castle Bromwich, and Westland Aircraft. The Spitfire was designed as a short-range, high-performance interceptor aircraft by R.J. Mitchell, chief designer at Supermarine Aviation Works, which operated as a subsidiary of Vickers Armstrong from 1928. Mitchell developed the Spitfire's distinctive elliptical wing with innovative sunken rivets, to have the thinnest possible cross-section, achieving a potential top speed greater than that of several contemporary fighter aircraft, including the Hawker Hurricane. Mitchell continued to refine the design until his death in 1937, whereupon his colleague Joseph Smith took over as chief designer, overseeing the Spitfire's development through many variants. The first flight with the prototype aircraft was carried out on March 5, 1936. The first serial versions of the Mark I were released in June 1938, and, in October 1947, deliveries were terminated. That was the Mark 24 already. Between 1938 and 1947, were produced 20,351 Spitfire aircraft. About 240 are known to exist nowadays. The Spitfire was powered by a Rolls-Royce PV.12 inline 12-cylinder water-cooled engine, later renamed the Merlin, or a Rolls-Royce Griffon engine. This gave them their signature sound. Dimensions: span 36 feet 10 inches or 11.23 meters, with a shortened wingspan of 32 feet 2 inches, or more commonly, 32 feet 2 inches, that is 9.93 meters, with extended wings, 40 feet 2 inches, that is 12.24 meters, length, 29 feet 11 inches, or 9.12 meters, later, with two-stage motor, usually 31 feet 33 inches, that is 9.54 meters, with Griffon engine. Typically 32 feet 8 in, or 9.96 in meters. Height, 11 feet 5 inches, that is 3.48 meters. With the Griffon, typically 12 feet 9 inches, and that's 3.89 in meters. Weights: empty, Mark I, 4,810 pounds, or 2,182 kilograms. Mark IX, 5,610 pounds or 2,545 kilograms. Mark XIV, 6,700 pounds, or 3,040 kilograms, maximum loaded. Mark I 5,784 pounds, that is 2,624 kilograms. Mark IX, 9,500 pounds, or 4,310 kilograms. Mark XIV, 10,280 pounds, and that is 4,663 in kilograms. Performance. Maximum speed. Mark I, from 355 to 362 miles per hour, that is about 580 kilometers per hour. Mark IX, 408 miles per hour, that is about 657 kilometers per hour. Initial climb, Mark I, 2,530 feet, or 770 meters per minute. Mark IX, 4,100 feet, or 1,250 meters per minute. Mark XIV, 4,580 feet, or 1,396 meters per minute. Range on internal fuel, Mark I, 395 miles, that is 637 kilometers. Mark IX, 434 miles, or 700 kilometers. Mark XIV, 460 miles, and that is 740 kilometers. Development. Possibly the most famous combat aircraft in history, the Spitfire. It was the first all-metal stressed skin fighter, to go into production in Britain. The following were main versions. Mark 1, initial version, 450 ordered in June 1936 with 1030 horsepower Merlin 2, 2-blade fixed-pitch propeller and 4 0.303 inches Browning guns. Later Mark 1A, with 8 guns, bulged canopy, and 3-blade DHVP propeller. And Mark 1B, with 2 20mm Hispano and 4 0.303 inches Browning guns. Production, 1,566. Mark II, the same Mark I, but built at Castle Bromwich, with 1,175 horsepower Merlin 12 and Rotal propeller. Production, 750 Mark 1A, and 170 Mark 1B. Mark III, single experimental model, strengthened Mark I with many changes. Mark IV, there were 2 types, the only test aircraft built with a Griffon engine and a more numerous series of unarmed photo reconnaissance aircraft with a Merlin engine. 229 units produced. Mark V, like Mark IV, powered by 1,440 horsepower Merlin 45, many detail changes, main fighter version 1941-42 and 3 forms, version A, 8 0.303, version B, 2 20mm and 4 0.303, version C, universal, wing with choice of guns plus 2 250 pounds bombs, all with centerline rack for 500 pounds bomb or tank, many with clipped wings and door. Tropical filter under nose. Production, version A, 94, version B, 3,923, version C, 2,447. Mark VI, high altitude, interim interceptor, 1,415 horsepower Merlin 47, pressurized cockpit, 2 20mm, and 4 0.3 Brownings. Production, 100. Mark VII, high altitude, extended wingtips, new 1,660 horsepower Merlin 61, with 2-stage supercharger, and symmetrical underwing radiators, retractable tail wheel, later broad and pointed rudder, pressurized cockpit. Production, 140. Mark VIII, virtually unpressurized Mark VII, versions, LF, low altitude, clipped, F, standard, and IF, high altitude, extended. Production, 1,658. Mark IX, urgent version to counter FW-190, quick lash-up of 5 with Merlin 61, again, LF, F, and IF, versions, plus X version, with 2 20mm, and 2 0.5 inches guns. Production, 5,665. Mark X, pressurized photo reconnaissance, Merlin 77, whole leading edge forming fuel tank. Production, 16. Mark XI, as 10, but unpressurized, 1,760 horsepower Merlin 63A or 1,655 horsepower Merlin 70, mainstay of photo reconnaissance unit. Production, 471. Mark 12, low altitude, to counter FW-190, hit and run bomber, 1,735 horsepower Griffon 3 or 4, strengthened airframe, clipped. Production, 100. Mark 13, low-level reconnaissance, low-rated 1,620 horsepower, Merlin 32, 4 0.303, production, 16. Mark 14, first Spitfire with 2-stage Griffon, 2,050 horsepower Mark 65 engine, with deep symmetric radiators, and 5-blade propeller, completely redesigned airframe with new fuselage, broad rudder, inboard ailerons, retractable tail wheel, 2 20mm, and 4 0.3 guns. Version E, same guns. Cut-down rear fuselage, and teardrop hood, clipped wings, F-24 camera, and extra fuel, active in 1944, destroyed over 300 flying bombs. Production, 957. Mark 16, as Mark 9, but with 1,705 horsepower Packard Merlin 266, clipped, many with teardrop hood, extra fuel. Production, 1,054. Mark 18, definitive wartime fighter, derived from interim 14, extra fuel, stronger, some of latter even more fuel, and tropical equipment. Production 300. Mark 19. Final Photo Reconnaissance, 2050 horsepower Griffin 65, and unpressurized. Then Griffin 66, with pressure cabin, and increased wing tankage. Both option of deep slipper tank for 1800 mile, that is 2,900 kilometers range, made last RAF Spitfire sortie. Malaya, April 1, 1954. Production, 225. Mark 21. Post-war aircraft, redesigned, with different structure and shape. 2050 horsepower Griffin 65, or 85, 420 mm, and 1,000 pounds bombs. Production, 122. Mark 22. Bubble hood, 24-volt electrics, some with 2,375 horsepower Griffin 65, and contra propeller. Production, 278. And Mark 24. Redesigned tail. Short barrel cannon. Zero-length rocket launchers. Production, 54. Total Spitfire production 20,334. So, now you know something about Supermarine Spitfire. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.